Key Science Ideas quiz. Identify the reactants of cellular respiration: carbon dioxide and oxygen, food molecules and water vapor and carbon dioxide, oxygen and food molecules. So again, what are the reactants? Identify the products of cellular respiration: carbon dioxide and food molecules and water vapor and carbon dioxide, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Which best summarizes the cellular respiration process? Gluten and enzymes react to produce carbon dioxide and release energy. Fat, carbon dioxide, and energy react to produce water and glucose. Glucose and oxygen react to produce carbon dioxide, water, and release energy. Fuel and water react with energy to produce oxygen and carbon dioxide. So which one shows you the cellular respiration process? Look at the graph below. Does glucose go through a chemical reaction quickly or slowly while exercising? So you can see the solid line is normal cellular respiration without exercise. And then you can see the dotted black line is exercise after every meal. Okay, so they exercise after every meal, and that is what their glucose level is looking like. Okay, and you can see here we have time of day. You can see that these are the meals. These lines here show you when they eat the meal, and then you can see what happens to the glucose levels. And these show you the glucose levels. So, does glucose go through chemical reaction quickly or slowly while exercising? And you would choose quicker or slower. Which is the best reason for the relationship between glucose levels in the bloodstream and activity and exercise? So again, you're going to refer to this line graph. How would you talk about the relationship between glucose levels and activity or exercise? Glucose is a food molecule from complex carbohydrates. Glucose is used in the reaction to produce energy. Unused glucose can be stored as glycogen in the liver. There is no connection between glucose levels and exercise. Why is the slope of Ben's heart and respiration rates much steeper when he is fasting compared to when he has eaten during the first 10 minutes of exercise? So you can see the red line is his heart rate, and the blue is his respiration rate. And you can see what it's doing. This is when he's eaten. What's the pattern? And then you can see what's going on here between respiration being blue and heart rate being red when he's not eating, when he's fasting. So why is the slope of the line in Ben's heart and respiration rates much steeper when he is fasting? So this one compared to when he's eaten. Ben is running quicker on the right-hand graph, so he has to work harder. Ben's leg muscles need glucose, but his fasting body does not have as much to use. His heart pumps faster to try to get the lesser amount of glucose to his muscles. Ben's alveoli are damaged by his fasting, so he cannot absorb the oxygen as well. Okay, now we're looking at this graph, and we have Ben walking, and we have Ben running, and we're looking at his blood glucose, which is the orange, and you can see the blood glucose here, and the calories burned, which is green. Okay. Why are Ben's calories burned lower when walking and his blood glucose higher compared to running, when you compare it to running? When Ben is walking, His body systems need less energy compared to running, so he burns less calories with cellular respiration while walking. When Ben is walking, his body systems need more glucose to burn compared to running, so he burns more calories walking. When Ben is running, he needs less glucose for cellular respiration because his body systems primarily use storage. Which of the following structures allows oxygen to enter the bloodstream? So, how does oxygen get into the bloodstream? And the structures allow that oxygen in: the lining of the stomach, the villi in the small intestine, the alveoli in the lungs, or the bronchial tubes in the lungs. Based on the chart, based on the chart, the cells in which organ require the most energy in the body when at rest? So which one of these, which organ requires the most energy when the body is at rest? So this is total proportion of oxygen consumed by cells in these organs while at rest. So this is all of these organs are at rest. Which one requires the most energy? Heart, digestive organs, muscles, brain. What kind of reaction happens as molecules go through cellular respiration? An endothermic, an exothermic, or combustion? Which of the following is true about the energy in cellular respiration? More energy is absorbed, more energy is released. Think about your answer for this, and that might help you. In the lab demo, a student exhaled into a cup of BTB indicator. The liquid turned yellow-green. What did the results help to prove? Okay, so you can see if you're down on this level with yellow and greenish, you have more CO2, there's more CO2. And if you're up here with blue, there's less CO2. And this student exhaled in a cup and it turned yellow-green. So down here, what did these results help to prove? Results help to prove that carbon dioxide is a product of cellular respiration, indicates that our bodies are a closed system. It helps to prove the type of fuel required for the body to function. It is evidence that more energy is released than absorbed in the body. Which of the following statements best describes what happens to the carbon dioxide produced during cellular respiration in muscle cells? So the carbon dioxide produced remains within the muscle cell, causing increased concentration levels, resulting in the cell, to switch from cellular respiration to photosynthesis. Or the carbon dioxide produced leaves the cell and enters the bloodstream, where it travels to the lungs and is ultimately exhaled to the atmosphere. I'm going to read that one more time. The carbon dioxide produced leaves the cell and enters the bloodstream, where it travels to the lungs and it is ultimately exhaled into the atmosphere. The carbon dioxide produced remains within the muscle cell, causing increased concentration levels, resulting in the cell to switch from aerobic respiration to anaerobic respiration. The carbon dioxide produced leaves the cell and enters the bloodstream, where it travels to the large intestine and is mixed with other gases to be released as flagellants, which is farts. A classmate says that in the process of cellular respiration, our food is used to form new substances. Is this reasoning correct? He is correct because the food mixes together with carbon dioxide, forming a new substance. He is correct because the atoms in the food molecules are rearranged into new substances after chemical reactions. He is not correct because food is broken down into smaller nutrients in cellular respiration, not new substances. He is not correct because the atoms in the food molecules are destroyed during a chemical reaction, so nothing new is formed. So first decide if he's correct or not. And if he's correct, you're going to choose between the first two answers. If he's not correct, you're going to choose between the last two. Which of the following statements best describes the role of cellular respiration and why it is necessary to sustain life? Cellular respiration results in the formation of oxygen molecules, which can be released into the atmosphere to drive photosynthesis. Cellular respiration results in the formation of water molecules, which helps the organism maintain its internal water concentration. Cellular respiration results in the formation of energy that can be used for other metabolic processes essential for life. Cellular respiration utilizes oxygen gas from the atmosphere, which is a highly explosive and toxic waste product of photosynthesis. So, which one of those describes why cellular respiration is so necessary for life? In the process of breaking down and releasing energy, the atoms in our food are conserved, so like saved, dissolved, destroyed, created. What happens to the atoms in our food during the breaking down and releasing of energy? What reacts with food molecules in order to cause a chemical reaction and release the energy stored in them? Oxygen, water, glucose, carbon dioxide. So, what reacts with the food molecules to make that chemical reaction and release energy?